show. We were just discussing the funniest thing on earth that they'll never know about. That just made us both smile and laugh.
I'm already recording, so you gave away our
Perfect.
secrets. No, just play.
No, it's everyone's. They all.
We
know.
were talking about good stuff. We were talking about our friend who came to visit us, making a lifelong memory, sacrificing himself for us. I won't mention his name, so in case he is actually embarrassed, that he won't. But we got together last week, kid, and he had maybe on Saturday had a little bit too much to drink, and so about.
And we've all been there.
Yes, we've all been there. It's okay.
It was his turn, though. It was his turn.
And at about 11:30 p.m. on a Saturday, he crawled into the side of my yard and just started loudly, like, blah, blah, vomiting right when across the street, and I'm talking maybe 30 feet away, out the front door of another house came a woman and her child. Right, I'm talking right when he started just throwing up. And it was absolutely fantastic. Made the weekend for me. I know, actually, you know what? Joining my brethren made the weekend for me. Sharing time with my brothers, that made the weekend.
Absolutely.
But
that was a pretty good moment. That was a pretty
It was a pretty good moment. Let me turn you down. Oh, no. All right. So anyway, we are coming into the day fresh and excited. Placebo was telling me earlier about his forays into firefighterhood, and that he was taking CPR test and the firefighter test. He said the physical test was pretty grueling because he's a very fit man. He works out 5 days a week. 5 days a week.
Usually, 5 days a week.
5 days a week. He was a fit man.
For like 2 hours a day. I mean, we go hard. We do 6 sets of like 3 different exercises each day, sometimes 4. We do a lot. But seems like it's got a lot more to do with cardio than I was ready for.
Yeah.
That being said, my first attempt, I was only off by like 15 seconds. And I'm at the start of this whole thing. So, I mean, it's a good benchmark. I'm not there yet, but if I were to, I'm assuming like maybe a month of cardio and I'd be just fine. I'll obviously do more than that, but no, I missed it by about 15 seconds on the physical. Just I think because of my heart needs to get a bit stronger.
You need to love more.
I do.
You love more.
I'm such a heartless wretch.
Yes. But yeah, no. So I feel pretty good about the day. I actually, weird thing is, so I got pretty decent sleep last night. But it's almost like I feel more. Maybe I'm just like I feel more relaxed, and maybe I'm confusing that for feeling tired. I did just get done taking a shower and taking my shot, so maybe that also has me like very in a woo-saw. I'm not into like, whoa, guys, listen to my 80s headband.
Zen podcast.
Yes, I'm very zen today.
Serene.
I do not look forward to getting my teeth removed on Monday. Or not all of them, too. Back here, right about here and here. So far back that no one will ever see them. But the thing I don't look forward to out of it isn't actually the removal. It's the having to get general anesthesia, which is where they put you out, and then having to try to recover from that. Because that's base. I hate feeling for the rest of the day you're just kind of like, even after you come out of it, you're still not like functional.
Have you done it before?
I did it a long time ago when I got my wisdom teeth removed. So we're talking when I was 17. So like,
yep, same.
26, 7 years ago, something like that. Like a long time ago.
Well, fingers crossed you have a different experience this time. Hopefully, it's not as bad. Because when I got my wisdom teeth done, they said, "Oh, you're gonna feel a bit uneasy for the next day or so."
Okay.
And
yeah,
by 2 p.m., I was playing billiards with my grandfather.
Okay, see, I thought I remembered it not being that bad either, because I remember it being like right after I was a little loopy, but then I think maybe I went home, took a nap for like an hour and a half, woke up, and I remember being more or less good to go. But so I'm actually hoping it is like that. But you're saying, everything I see online, it's like, oh, the effects could last up to 24 hours or more.
And I think they could, right? I think they could, but I don't think they always do. So fingers crossed for you.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that I get through it quickly. And
I mean, mine was fantastic. I didn't even wake up loopy, right? Like I woke up, it was almost like I was like my happy drunk self, right? Like, oh, thank you, I'm sorry, thank you. And then like 30 minutes later, I'm like,
I feel good.
Fine.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping as well. Actually, the last time I got my wisdom test, I do remember that I wasn't I was out, but I was aware of them like adjusting things in my mouth and like them kind of tugging and stuff. Like I didn't feel anything, and it wasn't like I fully woke up, but I do remembering like I can remember kind of feeling like, motion and stuff. And like, so I wasn't that conked out. Sometimes they would really conk out and you're like, I don't even remember anything. I do remember being like moderately aware that I was still getting dental work done, if that makes sense. But it's like just in like a very off in the distance sense. So yeah, I was like, as long as I don't feel it, I don't care. Like that's
right.
Actually, if they just give me enough that I wouldn't feel it, they don't even need to knock me out. I don't care if they're over me, yanking with pliers. I'm fine with that. I know that's what you're doing. Just as long as I don't feel it, I don't care.
Me too.
But that's actually my worry is more with the anesthesia and how much it'll disrupt my day than it is with like the actual like pain or any of the procedure. I feel like most of that'll be fine. You just pop some pills and you're good for the next day and a half.
Yep. No, totally get it, man. Totally get it.
All right. So, what was that? I actually had something I was going to talk to you about before we got into the depths of things, and I don't remember what it was. So,
you remember what it might have had to do with? Was it political in nature? Was it religious?
Oh, there was there was something I was going to talk to you about, but it was going to be before the stream. So, I don't know. I can pop it up.
Got me nervous about what it is.
It was just something that I thought was really fascinating. So there's a guy. Let's see if I can. I've got podcast. We'll talk about it later. I'll go through what I have up now first, and then when I switch over to another bookmark, Okay, it was. So I can give you. Did I get it?
Just wait.
I got it. I caught a net out of this. Yeah. Ooh, fucking Mr. Miyagi over here.
Thank God there's video. No one would have believed you.
They wouldn't have. They've been like, you're too fat and slow. You can't do that. Fast.
That should be one of the CPAT tests right there.
Yeah.
That should be
agree.
One of them.
Share screen. Okay. I'll make sure everything's showing on the Discord. More or less it is. Yes. Okay. I'll have to click on it again. So I was going to talk a little bit. So I remember why I was going to bring this up. I don't care that much about Twitch, but I mean, we can talk about it a little bit. But so for those who don't know, Twitch had their Twitchcon, and they had loads of issues with it.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I mean, it was. Most people said they weren't even going because they didn't feel safe going. I remember one issue was they basically told Emiru she would lose her show if she didn't do a meet and greet with people, and then they wouldn't let her bring her like tried and true favorite bodyguard because in a previous year he grabbed the dude and pushed him off of her like he was supposed to do, but they were upset about that for some reason. So they said, well, you have to use ours. Well, anyway, what happened was a guy basically crossed through multiple barriers, got to her, hugged her, and then tried to kiss her before she pushed him off of her. And then her the Twitch bodyguards or security did nothing the whole time. They just stood there and watched. Her bodyguard came out and pushed the guy off and like made like, back off or you're going to get messed up. And this was a big deal because this is exactly what people were saying. Like, it could have been worse. If he had a knife, especially some of these, like, more political streamers like Asmongold or Hassan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that they have crazy people out there who want to actually do them harm. You can't, you know, if that's as good as your security is, you can't run the thing. Anyway, so and then Emiru went on, and the other problem was Twitch came out with a statement about what happened, right? And Emiru came in later and posted a video basically saying, no, they lied. That's not what happened. Here's what actually happened. Here's the whole situation. A lot of people are... So she did decide to press charges on the guy, which is good. People, you know. But also, a lot of people are theorizing that she might try to actually bring legal action. She's building a case against Twitch, basically. Because they forced her to be in that situation, didn't provide adequate protection, the whole shindig. But that's part of, you know, that's a small part of what's going on with Twitch, because, you know, Twitch is they're facing loads of backlash about who they don't punish when, you know, they sometimes call for political violence, and then people they do punish because they call somebody fat, right? Like, there's a lot of, hold on, let me click on this. There's a lot of debate and just like a lot of people saying, like, you know, Twitch is getting ready to get sued, basically. They think it's really in bad shape. And a lot of that is because the CAO, Dan, do you know what the guy's name is? I've read it so many times and I can't. Is it Lanning or something like that?
Idea. I have no clue.
Anyway, their CEO is just trash. And by the way, during this whole thing, he was caught partying with like 21-year-old girls. So that's what he was doing. And he's like 64 or something, which I don't care. I'm one of those like, hey man, if you got that kind of pull when you're 64, you do you, brother. Like if they're willing to date you, then go for it. I don't.
Odd that if his company is having this event, that he is not in some
That's the
way
problem.
having a sort of overseeing.
Yes, he's not
on it at the time.
He's not doing his job. He's busy partying the whole time. He basically spent the whole week going to like all these streamer events and partying. There's another video of him flipping this female streamer, like as part of a shtick she was supposed to do. He was supposed to, I guess, help her do a backflip, but he like threw up in the air and she just like fell flat on her face. And it's just like he's I don't know. He needs to be fired. That's clearly what has to happen. But here's some points. So, Dan Clancy says it right there. That's the name. Sorry, Dan Clancy. And what Smash JT said was Dan Clancy will do literally anything but resign. So he's making like all these excuses and stuff and apologies, but and my thinking was like, well, yeah, like I wouldn't resign. I'd make them like he has the most cush job on the planet. Amazon doesn't care about Twitch. It is less than 1% of their portfolio, right? It literally is basically an advertisement for their server system. So for where they really make money, it's basically like, look what it can do. That's they don't care. They don't look at it as like this major money making opportunity, all that. But Dan Clancy, being the CEO of Twitch, absolutely gets paid ridiculous amounts of money. But the expectation for his work is like minimal. So he's getting paid loads of money to basically do almost no work and party with hot 20-somethings. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, you're going to have to kick me out. You're going to have to drag me. I'm going to be holding on to the doorpost with both fingers to get me out of that job. I don't know why people think he's just going to, like, fall on the sword.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to look up at people in positions of leadership and think they should be better.
They should do this. They should do the moral thing. Yes.
Right? Like, because that would be the moral thing, right? Like, I am incapable of doing this job effectively. I'm not treating it with the respect it deserves. I'm not really, so on and so forth. And yet, there are unfortunately a lot of leaders that are not going to take the moral high ground and step down. He
spent his whole life working in those systems so that he can get the cush job, right? I mean, there's a lot of people, that's why they didn't become a CEO because they're driven to be successful for, like, make a company be successful. It's for personal success. They just wanted the money and the fame and the women. And so once they get that, like, they're like, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to drain this for all it's worth. But, yeah, I mean, I wonder if at some point in time, once there becomes a lot of lawsuits, if the legal backlash for what's going on with Twitch becomes so negative that it starts to impact Amazon's overall brand, I think that's when you'll see Amazon and Jeff Bezos step in and actually take some sort of action.
Call me crazy to play some psychology games here, but I think most people around are kind of unaware of the connection between Twitch and Amazon. Mm-hmm. And I think that perhaps if there was a more clear connection, that I think he might care a bit more. And probably not right. That might change. And that might then cause him to. I
think people in the streaming space know, because you have like your Prime subscription. They can get, like, everybody knows. Yes. But you're right. Externally to people who are in streaming sphere, it is probably not. People just think, oh, that's Twitch, and oh, that's Amazon. Amazon does the packages, and Twitch does the video games. And that's the funny thing, because Amazon
those don't go together, right? Yeah. Those are very.
Well, funny thing is, the biggest moneymaker for Amazon right now, I believe, is their servers and their online service. It's not even their like, commodities market and service isn't what brings them. Like, it's still big, but it's not. It has been overshadowed now by their AWS.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I think that's interesting, that because people still think of Amazon like I do, even though I know better, I still think Amazon. Oh, I order M&Ms and toilet paper from Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think of Amazon. But yeah, so anyway, I just thought it was interesting, like, because you're seeing a lot of people. It was almost like two things back to back. So you have the Hassan shot caller thing. Right, and that got people all upset.
I heard a bit about that. I don't know the details, but I did hear a bit about that.
So that's gotten people, even people who normally are a little more on the Hassan side, like, because everybody loves a puppy, and, if you mistreat a puppy, get the pitchforks out. And I happen to actually agree. Like, basically, it's really been interesting because it made people start deep diving further. And, like, there's times where he's done stuff to some of his previous dogs that would suggest this isn't a one-time. Didn't get it again. A one-time deal. That this is like kind of consistently who he is as a person. But anyway, so you've got that, which has been a pretty big, stain on Twitch, and then you have Twitchcon that just was an utter failure, complete, just everything horrible. You wonder if that's not going to start forcing genuine. But see, I don't think it's going to change, because I do think the way that company right now is set up. Get slightly political, but I think they have too many DEI hires. I think they hired too many people because of what they were rather than what they were capable of. And when this happens, you see this happen. This isn't like the only company this has happened to. When you start hiring people because they fit a quota, or they have a certain hair color or sexuality or whatever, gender, race, whatever, but you don't guarantee that they are the best at that position, then the performance of the company starts to eventually decay, because the people who should be doing those jobs aren't doing it. And, the people who got it to that point get replaced. And if you have a whole company filled with people who aren't capable, then, you're going to start seeing this kind of stuff happen, where it's, a very strong company like Twitch, who had so much market share. It was the unquestioned king of live streaming. It was like on a pie chart. When I did my stuff back like 3 years ago, it was like 70% of the audience was on Twitch, right? It was just overwhelmingly. It takes a while for that to start to decay enough that it becomes a problem, because it's so strong and the foundation is so strong that it takes a while for the decay to like reach the foundation of where people are really questioning things. But anyway, I don't know. I think that was kind of interesting, but it just made me laugh, because I was like, no, if I had a cush job and that's what I was doing it for. Listen, if somebody want to pay me over $1 million a year to like work a couple hours and basically show up to a few meetings a week, and then go to like events and play kissy face with some 22-year-olds. I mean, sign me up. Sign me up today. I'll do that.
Right.
But anyway, let's see. Okay. This is something I have. Okay. I have a reason why this is here. It's not the actual. I'll pull it up for people. So this is Randall Cobb. He played in the NFL, and he went back to his high school, which is Alcoa, Tennessee. And they were doing he's going to become an Alcoa Tornado Hall of Famer, right? So he was back, and he had his little Letterman jacket on, right? I have a question. Does this seem enticing to you? Because when I was doing it, I used to, this would have been like, oh yeah, go back and go and have the whole crowd cheer you on. I was like, man, that just seems like a hassle. Because the whole day, you're going to have like dinners and meetings with people the whole day, right? You're going to have all your obligations. Then you have to go to the game. You're going to have to make sure and wear your jacket. And then you have to stand there and go, while they cheer. And I just thought, I don't think even if Science Hill made me a Hall of Famer for their football team, I don't think I would care now. Like it's like I don't have that need for like I guess that kind of attention. I mean obviously I'm producing a podcast, right? So there's some level of, but I do this because I think what we're saying is interesting, and it's not just wanting attention, if that makes sense. Like it's more of like I would like to get the information out, or so. Maybe I've shifted where I just don't care about athletic attention anymore, and now I want it to be because of like intelligence or because of a good, logical line of reasoning or something like that would be more what I would find exciting. I don't know, but what about you? Because I know you played soccer. So you at least had, at some point in time, you enjoyed the roar of the crowd while you made a great pass or a play. Like there was some element of that was there. Would this like appeal to you? Would the idea of going back to your high school and then people who don't even know you now applauding you because you were once great?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit tricky in that I have almost no sort of group pride outside of my family, if that makes sense, right? Like I really do not care about what my high school people thought of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about what other people think of me. I'm literally just trying to do the best I can, and like I care a lot about what my family thinks of me, right?
Okay.
Like that's where I draw the boundary. So, if it was like this, but my family's on the outside, it doesn't matter what it's for. It could be for soccer. It could be for anything, right? Yeah. And I'd be like, this is awesome, right? This is amazing. The people that I care about, that I respect and value, think highly of me. This is great. But I don't know those people well enough, like I have no idea what those people are like. So what do I care?
So I don't care if they like you. Yeah.
Because they're a part of a group that I'm also a part of. We're all part of a group that I also, everybody is in some way a part of groups with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, why does this grouping matter more than the other ones? It doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So no, is there free shit involved? I'd be all for it if I got some free shit.
Okay. That's fair. No, that's fair. That would in fact also alter my, like, if there's a check or like
right,
lifetime ticket to the local barbecue restaurant or something, maybe I'd be down.
Yes,
I'm like, wonderful.
This is wonderful. I'm game.
Yeah, right? But give me the jacket. I'll go out there.
Attention, the rapture of the crowd. No, not really. Doesn't do much.
I kind of, because I was going to invite Ply in this week, but he had his son had his final football game of the season. So, like right now, they're playing. So he wasn't going to be able to make it. But I would love to have gotten, because I know he does love attention. And this isn't, like, I think he will admit this. This isn't I'm not dissing guy. It would be a different. Yes, it's a different perspective. It's someone who loves having outside eyes watch it. Like, I always remember he came into town and, like, I was like, I'd rather kind of eat this meal at home. Let's just order in, because he was only here for a day, and I was like, I'm not feeling up to going out. My stomach doesn't feel. And so instead of eating with me at the house, he was like, I gotta go. He had to go out to a restaurant to get the experience of having people watch him eat. And it was like, that is a mentality that I can't process, because it's not me at all. I'm almost like, I have to go out. So anyway, I thought it would be interesting to have his perspective on this, but alas, it's two of us which have similar mentalities on it, giving our take on it. Okay, so here's another mentality. And I'll have to give you the story behind this. Okay? In the Knoxville News Sentinel, which is the official AP newspaper for Knoxville, which is the home for the Tennessee Vols, the University of Tennessee. It's a fairly decent sized area. They got all kinds of stuff going on there. It's where a lot of people who work with Pilot. And anyway, there's good money there. It's a fairly decent sized paper. They ran a piece, an article by some guy from Virginia, like West Virginia, so he was close enough to be like in Vol territory. But anyway, and his whole thing was basically, so he first published it, and it was like, oh, how can all these conservatives love the song Rocky Top? Like, Rocky Top, you'll always be. It's like they play it 1,000 times during games. It's basically, instead of the fight song, they play this. This is actually the real fight song for this school. And he made this claim that the song is anti-police. It's not, but he like made some sort of made one of those arguments where like, well, people agree that this was, and it's like, no, nobody. Anyway, he did this whole thing. It got a lot of backlash. After it got the backlash, he said, oh, I actually made it to be a thought piece about how people read stuff in newspapers, and basically claiming it was a rage bait piece. And then see, this guy says, well, you got to tip your cap, because if it is rage bait, clicks are clicks, is what this, I know people may not be able to see it real well, but I'll pull it. Whoops. No, I won't. I clicked the wrong thing. There you go. Right here. Whoops. Right here. For those of you who don't know, I have this on two screens, and sometimes I will move my mouse on one screen and it doesn't show on the other, and I get confused. What you can see, so anyway, here it is. The band Ragebot. Anyway, he was just saying it's clicks. Clicks are clicks. What is your mentality on that? As far as like engagement is engagement. Whoops, I did not mean to do that.
It's bad, right? It's a bad mentality to have, right? Like it will get you what you want if what you want is money, I suppose, is what I think of it.
Yes, I do not think disingenuousness is, for me, it's not acceptable, even if it's in entertainment.
I agree. I think it's unethical.
Yes, I think it's disingenuous. It's not dishonesty, because I think like actors are dishonest, right? They're not actually a gangster or a mafia member, right? So there is a level of dishonesty, but it's honest in that going in they're playing a role.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this happens a lot in streaming, and I actually had a conversation with the streamer recently, and we were talking about how he fakes a lot of stuff on stream. And I'm torn, because I think he does present that like, hey, this is all, or he presents that it is an entertainment stream, but I also think he kind of shows it as, I'm actually doing these activities, and what I'm doing is real. And I'm like, I think if you were honest up front that you weren't doing it, then I would, especially since people pay for him to do these actions. I don't know, because like that's dipping past entertainment into dishonesty, I guess, is what I don't know where it stops though, because like wrestling, like you should know that it's fake, but they kind of present it as if it's not a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the line is drawn that it's like, well, people should expect this to be fake, right? Like that's a lot of what people are saying with all the drama between these big name real life streamers now. It's like, well, of course, some of it's real, some of it's fake, some of it's just to get clicks, because anytime you have conflict, both channels see an increase in viewership.
Yeah.
How much of that is genuine? How much is it fake? And they think, well, these are all streamers who make money off of you watching, so of course you have to go in with a little bit of a expectation, I guess. I don't know though.
The very nature of these sort of things is that they toe the line, and then whenever people have a good grasp of where the line is, they move the line again intentionally, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that is where I really have a problem, because that speaks to the actual desire for these things that happen is to manipulate and take advantage of people who don't know better, right?
Right.
Because if that weren't the case, then they wouldn't change the line once everyone understands where it's at.
Right.
So I dislike manipulation in general.
Yeah.
I think it's bad. I think even advertising is like manipulation that I really hate.
Yeah.
I think it's got either seeds of evil in it or it is actually evil. So I have a fairly harsh stance on it. Yeah, even rage bait. That's enough for me. Not I think it's unethical.
I especially hate rage bait in other areas because I think a lot of people do it because they think it makes them smart. They are like, ha ha, especially on social media. They're like, you fell for my fake statement. But it's like, yes, but all you made was a false statement. Like, you just lied and then got shocked that people believed your lie. It's like, that's the human reaction, is that we shouldn't have to shouldn't assume that every single post you see on social media is someone trying to lie, right? Like, I think that's a weird. In fact, I would say that the initial starting point is most people assume, like, if you're starting from scratch, we assume what you're saying on social media is you representing yourself honestly as a statement. And so I think when people do the whole, like, ha ha, I made you upset, or, oh, I made this statement and it made you overreact, it's like, well, yeah, that make you smart. That's just you lie. Like, everybody falls for a lie. If their initial, expectation is that you're being honest about something you believe, and you don't say that it's sarcastic, or you don't make it abundantly clear that it's sarcastic in the statement, like make it so absurd and so exaggerated that, a rational person will be like, oh, he's being sarcastic. Yeah, because I just see that so bad, especially in like the gaming space and streaming space. Like, a lot of people do that. Like, they do, and then when they get called out on it, they're like, oh, I was just rage baiting. Lol, got you. You're so dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no one. You're the dumb one.
The internet version of I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. It's just fucking annoying, man. It's just really annoying.
Yeah. And I just, there's something about their mentality that's like, I feel like it makes them a weaker person, the people who do it, because what they're saying is to get a sense of control or importance in their life, they have to lie and manipulate others to make them feel like they're smart. That's really what it is. It's like, I'm smarter than you. I have controlled you. I have manipulated your emotions. Aren't I great? Yeah. And it's like, no, it just makes you a sad person if you're intensely doing that.
Everyone has some like level of insecurity in them, right? Like, for some people, tiny little nugget. For some people, it's bigger, right? But like this sort of thing, whatever you were at before, it's bigger now, right? If you're going down this rabbit hole, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get more insecure because you're giving away more of your power to like other people, and you're not actually like looking at things and fixing anything yourself. You're just totally at the mercy of what the crowds think, and you're, I suppose, thinking that's the way it should be.
I do wonder if that's another element of how social media has affected society, is that it's changed that element of how we start to perceive more and more that success is clicks, or success is likes.
Or likes, or the ratio of followers to who you follow, right? Yeah. Yep.
And so, therefore, if that's the greatest good, that's the peak of what you're trying to achieve, then anything used to achieve that is therefore also validated, and even if it's not, even if it's an immoral action. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good. We solved that world problem. Okay. So, don't care about all this. That's not. This is the statement. Where there is smoke, right? The statement. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And this one made me think when I read it, because I was like, I don't think that's true. I don't like that. I think it is sometimes, but I don't think it's always true. And I think people overuse it because basically it's people. Let me give it a little background. It's Preacher Orrin story time. Doctor, I'm sorry, nobody knows it's Preacher Orrin. Dr. Littleford story time. Gotta remember the brand I've got here. So Tennessee had their national championship winning head coach get offered a job with the San Francisco Giants. So he got offered to go from college to the majors, and it took him a long time to choose. Well, during this time, people were, I mean, you should have, it's insane. People are psychotic. Sports fans need help. Anyway, just all these rumors started going, right? And so a lot of people didn't like our AD, by the way, had our overall sports program at the most healthy position it's been probably, I don't know, maybe even in my lifetime. But for some reason, they don't like him because he has raised the tickets price by a total of, I think, 10%. He raised it by 5% twice. And everybody's losing their minds, right? They're like, oh my God. Because you know how people are. They always think stuff should stay the same price.
Yeah.
For eternity. It doesn't matter. You know, don't ever raise my ticket prices. You're pricing the poor family. You just want rich people. You're greedy. So that's everybody's thing with him, right? He's greedy. I don't think it's true. I think he's actually ahead of the curve because with NIL spending, basically money is now, college sports are professional now. That's just the way it is. They are professional sports now. I mean, they have TV deals, players getting played. It's a professional thing. So you need to have money in your program to compete. So I actually don't like hold that against it. But anyway, people start out with not liking this guy, right? A few, some people. I would say the majority of fans still like him because they recognize what he's done for the program, but there's a few people who just, they decide. But anyway, they started this rumor that the reason our coach left couldn't be that it's the next challenge, right? Like, you get to move up to the pros and see if you are that level of great. It was that he and Danny White were having fights and that Danny White stole or took money from the baseball team and gave it to the women's basketball team and right, like all these things, and there was no like evidence given of this whatsoever.
Right.
It just was a consistent rumor mill that people would quote other people, quoting other people making the rumor as like facts. And
then eventually the thought is, well,
exactly
where
there's smoke, and I was like, no, that's not. Yes, in the laws of physics, in the natural world, the chances are if you see smoke billowing up, there probably is a fire there. But that doesn't work when you're talking about rumors, because rumors build on themselves and it doesn't mean anything.
Well, I think maybe that's the problem with this. There's not any, like, smoke would be like a video recording that got published of them having a fight, right? Like,
yes.
That adds some evidence to the conclusion, right?
Right.
But people just saying this is the case and just throwing the same conclusion around at each other, that is not smoke, right? Like,
exactly. No, I agree. And I know some, and here's the other thing. People will make claims online like, oh, well, I got the information from former players or from, and I was like, yeah, but there's still, that's a biased source, right? Like that's people inside. They probably weren't there for the whole thing. And then anyway, after it came out, after he moved, the coach made a statement and said like he loved the university and the fans. And he didn't make any statement like this. I left because Danny White mistreated me. Danny White said, I'd never, the money was always what it was going to be. I never took money from him. And actually, he explained how the baseball team is actually making more because they have a NIL collective that they use. So they actually have more of the revenue share and more money than the women's team. Anyway, he did this whole thing.
So what we've done there is we've added what is actually smoke for the fiery conclusion of it was not a fight between them.
Yes, but it'd be correct. The people, they refuse to admit this. Like the people online, they're like, no, Danny proved that there was a discrepancy and blah, blah. And it's like, it's wild to me how people, once they get on a rumor, they cannot be moved off of it.
Well, very often, like, people choose the conclusion that they want before they look at the evidence or the premises, right? That's 100% what this is, right? They've chosen a conclusion that they're into. And instead of, like, looking at the evidence to say, what conclusion should I have? They're like, what evidence supports my conclusion? And it completely ignores the much stronger evidence on the other side in what you said.
No, I agree. And it kind of makes me, okay, I wasn't planning on this, but it makes me think a little bit about excuse me. So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Candice Owens has went like batshit crazy.
You are political today, my goodness.
Yeah, no, I'll explain why. So she came out with a statement now that she's named like 4 or 5 other people that she thinks killed Charlie Kirk, right? Well, she's now says it's Trump, and that Trump did it, and that they were intentionally doing it, and that she doesn't. Anyway, it's a long story. I watched the whole thing. That's absolutely what she was saying. She never directly stated, I believe Trump did this, but she said the people who gave him a holiday are if they kill you, then they give you a holiday. And she was saying the people who gave him a holiday were the ones who most likely killed him, right? That was what she was insinuating. Well, the only people who gave him a holiday were Trump, right? So anyway, but I'm going to get this. Right. So she starts with a conclusion. She's been doing this, and this is what everybody who follows her. She'll start with a conclusion, and it's real easy to fill in the backfill, but because then the evidence doesn't need to be solid. It just needs to be believable, right? Like it just has to fit in. Well, here's another thing she just she now says that she thinks Elon Musk, Adam Thiel, and I can't remember one other tech guy are demi-humans who are half human and half either alien or AI, and that they are here to usher us into an era where AI rules humanity. That was, and that's why I was like, she starts here, and I guarantee you she's going to try to fill it in, and you would be shocked at how many people online try to go with her on this and try to go, it's just the man. And I was like, come on, at this point you have to admit she's crazy, right? At some point in time you have to just be like, bitch crazy, she lost it, let's move on, But anyway, that's why that was the statement that really I thought, if people don't see it after this, you ain't gonna see it. You know what I mean? Once you start getting into their demi-humans, shut the fuck up. Honestly. So anyway, that's just because this just made me think of that. That's the case with all conspiracy people, right? They start with a conclusion, and you can always just backfill. When you backfill information, it's easy to make anything seem rational or realistic.
Yeah. They say hindsight's 20/20, but I think it's one of the worst ways to actually look at things, because you fill in gaps where they weren't filled in before, and you create stories where there weren't stories, and it's dangerous.
Yeah,
but everyone seems to think it's a very good thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think people aren't careful enough when they do it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was about to say. I think true hindsight might be good because you can reflect and be like, this is why I messed up. But that's not what people, when they say it, you're right. That's not what they mean.
It's extremely hard to do that. Right, because you only have your lens to look through, right? And it's hard to detach from your lens and look at it externally, right? That's really, really hard. But it's what you have to do if you want the reflection to actually be meaningful and valuable. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad we covered that. That wasn't too bad. That really wasn't that bad. I didn't get that. I just pointed out how one person is a psycho. That's all I did. Oh, now I'm going to talk about this.
But I don't know that the public perception will think that.
Well, then fuck them. Too bad.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. Once I believed with you. Now I've been castrated, and now I do not.
Okay. You're not the public. You're here with me. I'm pulling you down with. No, I'm just playing. I know that's your biggest fear, is that it will reflect upon you. My opinions voiced on this podcast are my own, and the opinions on this podcast presented by one person do not represent the beliefs and thoughts of all members of people who show up and are just here to help me out and put out a podcast.
It's just been made clear to me that the truth about my opinion and my status as a good man or not a good man is fucking irrelevant, and what really matters is just what do people think on a day, right? Just how. Right. So
how's it feel today?
I'm like,
It is frustrating. It is very frustrating because it is sad, right? That's a sad element of somewhat reality, that people can't process nuance and your overall history and details. They just go off of, what do I feel today? And now I'm going to run with that. And no, sad. That's all I'm going to say. Society is sad.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of society being sad, so here's a really interesting story I did kind of look into and followed a bit, but I just used this because it was one of the many things that I did, and it just gets me into the topic. So check this out. This is batshit crazy. This is
I've
Swedish.
read it. That looks ridiculous.
Okay. So basically, she got raped by a guy, and it was a foreign person in Sweden. So this is in Sweden, not in the U.S., but she got raped, and the judge ruled that she did not get raped long enough to deport the guy. That's insane. That's all. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
Like, how is that even?
Yeah.
How is that even a rule?
I will take the brave political stance on this one.
Mm-hmm.
That judge was wrong.
Yeah, right. Like, that's why I was like, I don't even know if I thought this was going to be a conversation, or if I just wanted to point it out, because I'm like, that's batshit crazy, man. And you cannot. I don't know. You can't trust.
Rape is one of the worst things you can do.
Yes.
Like,
and they're like, nah, didn't last long enough.
It wasn't long enough. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. That's
like the violating of like the human decency and the humanity of another person. It's not like the longer it goes on, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
It's full bad, right? It's
yeah.
as bad as it could possibly be. The entire duration, whatever the duration is.
Yeah, it makes me kind of go, I get why some people. So here's my question. I get why some people don't trust the judicial system, but I don't like vigilante justice, because, as we covered before, people are stupid. People have half information, and they will go off the hook and believe entirely all the wrong thing, and they would punish the wrong people too, right?
It's the exact same problem, right? The vigilante and the judge, the problem is that they are human and they make mistakes and they believe things incorrectly no matter who they are, right? Like, that is the real problem. It's just that one is within the legal system, one is without. But the problem doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with the fact that we have humans who are capable of error in these situations.
And you go, is there
I don't know.
viable? Yeah, it's like, I guess the judicial system is the best we have now, but as a solution, but I don't. There's got to be something. I don't.
The best argument I heard for something like the Supreme Court, right? So, like, we have the Supreme Court, works with 9 justices now? Is it?
Yeah,
I
think 9.
And the idea is that we cannot detach from the lens that we have, right? We talked about this just a moment ago, right? Like, it's really, we kind of can, but it's very hard, and you might not fully be able to detach. So if you get 8 or 9 different people who have different life experiences, different wisdom, different thoughts about things, you're going to cover that which gets lost by just one person, right? However, anytime things are done by committee or by community, it slows down a lot because people struggle to agree on things, right? And there are some things that are between any two people going to be complete hang-ups that are never able to get past.
That's what I'm saying. You start adding like political leanings and biases in that sense, that even it's not just experience, it's like actual also just emotional biases too.
Well, the political leanings are the result of experience and wisdom, right? Usually, right? Or their parents, but hopefully if they're a judge, not,
It's interesting. Yeah, that you're right. I don't know if there is a actual. I mean, the solution would be to get people who honor the position of being a judge or a juror, even, because I think sometimes jurors are biased as well. But they honor that so much that they really force themselves to be neutral and go, okay, is this in fact what the law is talking about, or is this the right solution? Is this how it's supposed to go? I just. We talk about philosopher kings all the time. I think the same thing with judicial. Like, the solution is to have the right people who can do the job correctly.
Absolutely. We just need everyone to just grow up a little, just a little bit. Just be a little bit better, work on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would fix a lot of, gosh, that would fix so much. Just having people be intelligent. Okay, here's a fun one. We were unfortunately making it this late into the podcast before I should have started with this. But you know what? I'm chapter break. Ha! Fresh chapter. Okay. I'll have to, and you know what sucks about these is I do have to do chapter breaks for when we do social media. I don't have to do it when we do rankings, but when we do social media, I have to do chapter breaks. So I have to go in and type it in. What are the top 10 most influential games of all time for you? This guy, and I'll give you his list. It's not a bad list. I would say most of it is on par. There's a few that I might disagree with, but World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy VII, Halo 2, Super Mario Brothers, Minecraft, GTA 5, PUBG, Ocarina of Time, Demon Souls, and Mario Kart.
As in like ones that influenced the entire world or him.
I think we're
'Cause I think he's
the
viewing the
gaming
entire,
industry. I think we're talking about the
yeah,
gaming industry.
all of it. Yeah, okay. I think those are some good choices.
The only
Is
thing,
Halo on there?
yeah, Halo
Halo's
2.
on there.
They put Halo 2. See, okay, so basically what
League of
I've seen.
Legends.
Ooh, that one is a good one. Gosh. Man, where would you fit that? Because I've seen some people
I
say
think
that they
you
might
drop Ocarina of Time.
That was the one I was looking at. That I thought you might shift that one out for something else. I've seen people switch out Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, for Halo 2.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was a tough, because I do think Call of Duty has had maybe a longer impact because it's still going strong and it's still influencing the gaming space.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Halo has kind of fallen off.
Halo's
but
pretty big.
it did impact things. Here's what Halo 2 really did. It made first-person shooters valid and huge on console. Before the Halo series, shooters were basically PC. That's what, because you had to have the mouse and keyboard. Halo was the one that like somehow structured it and made the flow of the game and the feel of it work on a controller, and it felt good, and it made it like people play games on controller.
Wait, he missed the number one most influential game, I think, ever. Or at least the brand. I don't know which of the games
Mario?
in it are. No. Pokemon.
That's another. God, that's a great
Pokemon
one.
is not on his list, right? Like that's huge.
Huge.
I think it's the most money that's ever been made by a brand ever is Pokemon.
Man, yeah. Where do you? Yeah.
Get rid of Demon Souls. No,
because see, I would say I would put Dark Souls instead of Demon Souls, and I got an argument for this.
I would too.
I know people was like, "Oh, Demon Souls spawned Dark Souls," but Demon Souls didn't make it take off as a genre.
Yeah,
Dark Souls is where it kicked in.
Put Halo 1. Don't put Halo 2. Put Halo 1 because it spawned Halo 2.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
Dark Souls is the one that made it where we now have Souls-like. It is a huge genre. Basically, it is off of Dark Souls. So I would have put Dark Souls in there. But yeah, how do you...
I would absolutely put like Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green or something.
I think you have to take out Ocarina of Time and at least put in Pokemon. I agree, because it's too...
Yeah.
Pokemon is too big of a impactful genre that's still going strong. Even though I know a lot of people complained about the most recent game, they're like, well, they're cashing in on the name more or less. But it's still going strong, still solid. Yeah.
So that's a good one. I think League of Legends really, really, really matters. I don't think that one should be ignored.
I agree. It definitely impacted some. Like, I would say League of Legends birthed. I think League of Legends is even at the core of games like Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. I think like that's what it was like. People wanted to do a shooter, a first-person shooter, or a third-person shooter version of League of Legends, but that's where the gameplay, the team mechanics, the way tank, DPS, etc. Those systems went into a competitive mode. I think they came from League of Legends, so I think you have to somehow squeeze that in there.
Now that you mention those, I'm thinking TF2, but I don't think TF2 breaks this list, right? Like I think it is very important, very influential, but it may be an honorable mention.
Yeah. That's the thing. Man, we may need to tack on like another top 10 of honorable mentions. I think that's
right. There's a lot that get sort of, I don't know, because I kind of agree that Ocarina of Time is a big deal. Right?
Yeah,
I do think it is, but
I mean, Legend of Zelda. I would just say the Legend of Zelda. I don't know why they even started, because like even the first one was huge at the time. It was a major it was different from Super Mario Bros. It had you had saves, you made progress over time. There were items. A lot of the stuff that I think went into Final Fantasy, the idea of an RPG, kind of started with Zelda. So I don't, boy, that, man,
tough.
That's tough. That is tough. I'm trying to think of any other games that I've played that I've been like, I mean, you'd almost have to throw Madden in there, right?
I was thinking Madden or FIFA.
Madden, I think Madden was the first sports game though, even before FIFA. Madden.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I think Madden blew up first, and Madden was like
that work?
sports. I mean, that was back in the early '90s, and it just blew up.
The world cares about soccer. Only we here in America care about football.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised.
But
that way.
I think Americans spent more money on video games first, and so they, put out a sports game to see if it would work. And it was the first one that really just blew up. And then they're like, well, if football with just America had this much money, we should put out FIFA and get the whole world. Because I agree now, I think FIFA is more influential. Worldwide. Well, important. Got to relight my little roach here. Made me think of Ken. So every time I just get down to the bottom, I think of him his little pokey stick that he smokes down to like the sliver. But yeah, is there anything else that you've played that you're like, man, you know what? Hey, people, if you've made it this long into the podcast and you didn't quit when I started talking about Candice Owens, please write in the comments some of your. If you have a game that we didn't mention, like, throw it down, because I'm actually interested in this. I would love to see some of the other ideas. Because, like, what about, like, Unreal? Or,
Unreal Tournament?
Yes, because I feel like that started even before, or, like, Doom, maybe even, was Doom before Unreal?
I was thinking about those, but I don't think they're that influential, if I'm being honest, right?
Because I was thinking, what would Imply would say Doom is, like, his favorite, like, gaming franchise of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
and they started that started first-person shooters. I'm wondering if that's where first-person shooters started, though, because that could be like the granddaddy of FPS. Okay, so like the
Pong.
Halo.
Let's go with Pong. See if we're going.
I think you have to. I agree. I think that at least needs to be an honorable mention because it did kick video games a little bit into mainstream. I think you have to like. None of this exists if it weren't for Pong.
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, because we're talking influential.
Too vague of a metric for me to rank these things. Then like.
I agree. That's why I'm making we get another top 10 for
more general.
Maybe we're a top 20. My honorable mention is a real close top 10 because I do think you have to or Pac-Man, Pac-Man.
That's a great one. Same basic principle.
Yeah,
though.
It kicked
Tetris.
Game Boy. The Game Boy came with it. That's why it was so big. It came with Tetris, which was like a super addictive game. That still, I think it's the number one. I think that's actually the number one selling game of all time is Tetris, like by a pretty large margin. Yeah. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to stop being lazy. Let me get my keyboard. There, actress who was Saved by the Bell stripper movie.
God, that is from like years
multiple
ago
yes
podcast.
The actress who was in Saved by the Bell and did the stripper movie. So let me see. Is Tetris the most sold game, best selling game ever? There you go. Yes, Tetris is considered. This is the AI overview, so I'm not here. Let me click. Tetris is considered the most sold game of all time with over 520 million copies sold across all its versions. This total includes a vast number of mobile downloads and blah, 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 blah. I hate using AI summary as the source.
Wikipedia also seems to confirm it there.
Yeah, but I also hate using... But this kind of unimportant detail is something that Wikipedia is good. This is what I would... excuse me. This is what I would use Wikipedia for. Is something like this topic. Whoops. All right, let's try that again. Ranked up the 50th place by verified software unit sales. So the list is done by verified software unit sales. Oh, the best-selling video game to date is Minecraft. Multi-platform. That is interesting.
Some publications consider Tetris.
Yeah, because this says it's to sell over 300 million, which we said Tetris was 500 and something million. 1998 game Snake is estimated to have shipped over 400 million. So I guess they're going off of actual purchases. Because, like, I know some people don't consider Tetris because it came with the Game Boy.
Right. And
and they're like,
think there's
is that a sell?
there.
Yeah, it's like, is that a sold or is that not, But I would say that if over 540 people gained access to the game, 540 million people gained access to the game. That does say that it was influential, right? Like, that would say that it has influence as a game.
Yeah.
Even if there weren't direct purchases,
right.
it did have some element of impact.
No,
that's interesting. That is interesting. All right, and then, here we go. We'll do one more weird one. This is a guy that's on my list. This guy, my wife thinks I'm weird because I put peanut butter in my chili. Yeah, you're weird. That is my statement. I just wasn't sure if you've ever heard of this or... I mean, I could see if you mixed it in, maybe making the chili, like, thicker and maybe even creamier. But there's some things that I just don't know that it...
You want peanut in there?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's a legume, right? And beans, a lot of people who put... where is evil? Beans are not a part of chili. It's not chili if you put beans in it.
I put kidney beans in mine, right? I've
seen a lot of... loads of people
put
put beans in their chili. Like, I think there's two types of chili, right? There's hot dog chili, and then there's, like, soup chili. So you have your, like, dipping chili and your hot dog chili, and that's, like, just meat, and you kind of just put it on top. Whereas you have your, like, soup chili where you eat it as almost a soup, and that, I do think, requires beans. I think that is a part of the process. But, I'm sure Evil, if he watches this, is just, like, rolling over. Well, he's not in the grave, but he's rolling over in his seat.
He is a Puritan about some of these things, for sure.
He is. I'm sure he's thrown his phone across the room in disgust and is now, lamentating, Lord, what has come of us? What is society? Beans and chili?
I pray, good Lord, for their souls. They know not what they do. They know not.
Let's see, where are we at? Okay. We will touch on one more thing, and then I'll end this recording. Okay. So, this is an interesting topic. I'll make this big. Boop. I want to make something abundantly clear. There is no possibility of AGI ever. Consciousness is an emergent phenomenon unique to biological life. Anyone telling you otherwise is either an idiot or lying to you. And this is because Elon Musk said, my estimate of the probability of Grok 5 achieving AGI is now 10% and rising. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. About, basically, it's, can AGI develop its own sense of like actual consciousness? Not, it just follows rules so much that it kind of simulates consciousness, but in the actual consciousness. And most people that I've seen that are really high on this, I should say are really big on expertise in this area, agree with this guy that no, AI will not get consciousness. You have to, it's something that develops organically, and it does have to have a biological element to it. I don't know. I personally
don't know enough to be able to come to a conclusion on it.
I got one that you may be able to, though. Would it be a good thing if we are even chasing it? Like, should we even be trying to have AI develop its own consciousness?
Almost certainly not.
I agree. That's the part that I didn't like about this. He's like, it's at 10% and rising, as if that's a good thing. And I'm like, no. And the thing is, Elon was one of the first people that warned us about AI. He was like, no, AI will get too powerful, too strong. It'll screw things up. And now he's like pushing it, because he has his own. And I'm like, there's a lot of things I like that Elon does. I mean, as far as like commercially, I like what Starlink does. I like the, spaceships. Good. Push space travel. Be a scientist.
The business aspect.
Yes, I am down with that. But this one is one of those, I don't like his putting chips in people's brains. Even I know his intent is good to help people who have had injuries and, that kind of thing to live a more fulfilled, normal life. But I think that technology can be abused exceptionally easily. and he's doing the thing that all scientists do, which is they only perceive the best case scenario and how they will protect, and they will put these barriers to make sure it doesn't become bad. It's like, once you create a technology, it gets out of your, it's almost like art. It's out of your hands. People will do with it what they want to do with it. I think the same thing with AI and developing anything even close to human consciousness. It's like, no, this is, I even think where it's being used to do human jobs at a level that is just destroying the job market. I think that's bad for us. I think we have gotten to where we are fast enough now as a human society. We develop things quick enough and life goes fast enough. We've peaked. Let's stop here. We're good. Like, we are developing stuff so quickly. We don't need, I don't know. I feel like we're going to screw ourselves over.
I heard a statistic one time that was wild. In World War II, do you know how long it took the United States to build a warship? Like a big old warship that they were steel, all that.
Yeah.
How long did it take the United States to build one of them?
No.
From start to finish, it took 12 days. In 12 days, we could put together one of those massive warships. And that was in World War II, right?
Yeah. And now that we have more technology, it takes.
And think of all the hundreds of thousands of people that like made money and felt productive and lived good lives, and the kids that went to school because of it.
Yeah.
And think of just how much good that sort of like, I think to some degree we are like ants in the colony, like,
yeah.
We really were made for this sort of like communal ant like thing. And this is just not it, man. I don't know. I think it's going to make a lot of people sad, unhappy. I think a lot of people are going to probably die because of it.
I agree. I think people are going to be listless, have no value to their lives, and feel no purpose, no focus, no larger goal. Even if we give them money, I really don't believe that the solution is just give people money and that'll fit. Like, I think humans are designed or evolved, or however you want to look at it, in such a way that we need genuine purpose and drive and something to do with our lives.
We need to be needed in some way. And if everything is taken care of by robots, there's no room for us to be needed in any way.
Yeah.
Right?
And even if they're like,
the family...
I'll create poetry and I'll create... It's like, yes, but so will AI. And the AI may be doing it better than... And then people won't care about your poetry. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think therein lies the problem. That is not needed, right? Like, your poetry is, I suppose, perhaps wanted in some circles.
Right.
But it is not needed.
Yeah.
Just like if you're going to the gym, right? That is perhaps wanted in some circles, but it is not needed. If you do not look... There are a million people that look great. Right. And so think about families, right? When neither the father nor the mother needs to go get money, right? Because it's going to be taken care of by whatever. Well, then the need for those parental units drops drastically, right?
Yep.
Like, and I'm not saying it should be the man or the woman or whatever, but like one of them, or perhaps both of them, get some level of needs done going out and getting money and bringing it back. And now that avenue is gone. And it's like there then are almost no avenues for one to feel needed because nothing is needed. You know?
No, I agree. I think there's an element of that. And I guess you could say like parents could be needed by their children to raise them and that kind of stuff. But
then just keep pumping out kids, but you don't need both of them.
Yes.
Do you? Right? Like I didn't have my father in my life. And I'm alive today.
Yes.
Right? Did I need both of them?
I would say no, and yes, right? Because we do know that like society, one single parent households don't always predict, but they do worse over time. Usually, it doesn't mean that you like. I agree. That I have the highest opinion of you, but I think that you are an outlier in the situation, not the consistent. Like, I think that's also a reason we have so much. Like, you have so much inner city crime, that kind of like. There is a lot of issues there, and so I would say that maybe I think both are usually needed and could be better. Like, who knows? Maybe some of the things that you've fucked. I mean, of course, I fuck up too. So I guess it doesn't ever guarantee.
No,
anything,
there are
there's
gaps
just an element. Yeah,
for me.
it would just be
Like,
slightly.
It would be better if I had a male figure in the household for sure.
Yeah.
Right, no doubt. But I can just as easily point to a child who was raised by two parents that were not perfect,
even worse,
and identify like, well, they also have gaps, right? They also.
I guess it'd be better,
but that statistically, it does work out better more often.
Yes.
There are less gaps.
And if we expand the view to society, not just like, does this one like all those individuals eventually, if you have a full society, does it, would it be slightly better?
Therein lies the question, right? Is that needed, right? Is it needed that the people around us are good, well-behaving members of society if everything is taken care of by this AI robot thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, because then you're just fucking. I do think at some point in time, people will find a way to feel needed, but it may be at the rage bait type. You know what I mean? Like, I think that will become a thing. Like, I think people will find a way to make themselves feel needed, but it may be at the expense of other people. You'll start seeing that come into play a lot more. Instead of feeling like, oh, I'm needed to help society, you then have to generate your own sense of need, but then it's all internal. It's self. Where you get that will be a more self-centered version of feeling needed. It's you all inside your own head, and then it could actually become a detriment if everything's taken care of AI wise. We're talking about AI now. I'm back to AI. Sorry, I should say I'm shifting back over to AI. I think humans will, because like our brains protect us, right? That's why people who get abused sometimes have multiple personalities, etc. I think we will somehow develop a sense of need, but I don't know that
it'll be the great disorder that we will all have, where we will feel needed when we are not, right?
Yeah.
Everyone will have that disorder in some way. It'll manifest in a million different avenues.
Yeah.
Because we need to feel needed, and there are no avenues to do that.
I do have a theory that I think the more that AI takes jobs and removes need, the more that stuff like streaming or podcasts that are genuine with real people, and you can tell that they're genuine people, I think those actually will become more desired. That will be something that becomes, because that will be an element that we just don't get, right? Like if you call into a company to get service, you'll be talking to an AI the whole time. And then you do if TV shows become more AI and video games become more AI, you get less and less of actual human, and there's something in us that we need that connection with an actual real human, that eventually that will become that service may become more and more valuable as time goes on. It may not be, in the next year or two, but I think, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, that will become a larger part of service industry.
I'm inclined to agree. As human interactions go down and down and down, they're an essential part of what it is to be human.
Yeah.
So the demand for them goes up. Supply and demand makes perfect sense to me. I think you have a fairly good solution. I think the only issue is that like this is not as human connection as we might.
It's not as I agree. I mean, we met last weekend, and it was nice to actually finally hug and shake hands and smoke a cigar and just watch you ponder nature as you walked around and looked at things. And I enjoyed it. I did enjoy like getting everybody's little, you do get a little bit more insight onto like,
Yeah. The human parts.
Yeah.
Right?
It's cool. So yeah, I do. I agree. It's
better.
like, it's better.
Yeah.
All right, good. So our conclusion: be with humans, interact with humans. Yay. And then
I like that one.
Yeah. Go actually meet people and hang out with them sometimes. All right, I'll go ahead and end this week's podcast, and then we'll do a ranking for next week. So that way, because I might be so swollen that I want to get 2 in, because I don't know how my mouth works.
I see.
So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Love you. Kissums. I'm going to leave you. Love you and leave you. Please come back next week. Like, subscribe, juggle, do all the things. Bye-bye.